Okay. Here we go. Hello, everybody. I am your host, Jessica Koch, and this is Profound Professionals. I am so happy to be here. Bruce Barnes is a long term friend, a brilliant individual, and the definition of survivor is his existence. His story has been one of the most inspiring to date that I've ever had on the podcast, and we'll have our 10-year anniversary next year. Bruce Barnes is an amazing human, and I'm just so excited to have him on the show. Bruce Barnes, aka the Logical Intuitive, helps you optimize your mindset, wellness, communication skills using his framework and unique blend of logic and intuition and AI powered solutions. Because if you're not using AI, you're left out today. And he will actually help you, oh, no pun intended, actually help you actualize your full potential. And if anyone can do it, if there's an I can attitude out there on the planet, Bruce Barnes has it. So welcome back again to us, Bruce Barnes. We're so glad to help you. Happy,
Thank you, Jessica.
happy to help us.
Happy to be here. It's like a second home here. So it's just, yeah, it's you always make it educational and fun. So
Well, I'm excited because I'm excited, one, because there are so many people who now over the years have had the chance to hear your inspiring story. But give us a little bit of your story and journey so that they can learn about you and the journey they're going to take as they reach their fullest potential.
all right. Well, I started getting having some serious health challenges when I was a teenager and in 10th grade. And just over the years wound up having numerous surgeries and several times almost dying, and ended up in a coma for almost a week one time, and hospital stay for almost a year, 21 days shy of a year. So that was quite the experience in itself. But just over the every one of the hospital stays, one thing was that I would come away with like a divine message. I would have
Mhm.
something, and
What a
um,
gift. I mean, no one wants to be in a hospital that much. I mean, we all like Jello, but not that much. But
yeah,
you know what? What a great reward for you to receive.
yeah, because I mean it was not, you don't always see all of the dots when you're in the middle of the situation and that, but when you look
Mm,
back on it, you start connecting the dots, and there was different things that would happen and people that I connected with, and different um, connections that were made as a
mhm,
direct result of either the hospital stay or the recovery period in that. And but it's one of those things that as I look back on everything, the one thing that really got me through all of it was my mindset.
mm,
So um, just kind of touching on the logical intuitive label, I spent 37 years as a computer programmer, web developer. So that really honed the logical brain in that.
mm,
And I always had, that touch of intuition. But that year-long stay of the hospital, when I came out of the coma, I realized that my intuition had really been heightened. And
mhm,
so anytime I'd be talking with someone doing some coaching, they'd say something. It's like, oh wait, back up. So I get this intuitive hit. It's like, we need to go deeper on what you just talked about there. And
mm.
so I kind of, that's where I use that combination of logic and intuition, and in everything that I do. And um, one of the um, obviously with the health challenges, the wellness plays a big part of what I'm involved with, a variety of different wellness companies and that. Um, and learned along the way too, the communication is really key. So that's my actualize your full potential is mindset, wellness, and the C is communication. And last year I became a certified AI consultant. So I infuse different AI solutions
Mhm.
with everything too, to make the journey a little more interesting and that. But it's just getting back to the messages that I've gotten, um, the very first one, after my first surgery, I was sitting in the corner of my living room and working on a little craft project, and my dad was reading something there on the couch, and says, I said, this is going to sound weird, but I've got this voice in my head and it's saying, no, not yet. You're not through here. And he put down what he was reading and he said, well, I wouldn't be a bit surprised. And I was like, well, what do you mean? He said, well, they almost lost you twice on the operating table. And I was like, okay, I did not know that. But then the next couple of surgeries was the message was help others. And I'm thinking, could you be a little more specific? And then that year-long stay in the hospital, it was like shouting at me to help the kids. So I got involved with one of the high school youth groups at my church and that. And there was one situation that came up that it was just all about them finally being comfortable to, ask, share something, because I had developed that relationship of trust and everything with them. So,
yeah.
But yeah, it's just, that's the other part of it is that I also encourage people to do is to pay attention to the whispers. Those are our guides. And yeah, I mean, that's played a big part in a lot of the different things that I do. And it's like last year I was literally in the ER bleeding to death. And they were pumping blood into me as fast as I was losing it. And at roughly 1 a.m., the ER doctor comes in and says, is it okay if I contact your emergency contacts? And I'm thinking to myself, why are you even asking? Isn't that why they're listed?
Yeah, right.
Just call them. And I said, well, I mean, sure, go ahead. I don't know if they're going to answer at 1 a.m, but, go ahead. And so as he was leaving the room, I was thinking to myself, wow, this might be a little more serious than I was thinking it was. And immediately I had this calming voice in my head saying, don't worry, everything will be okay. And a few hours later, they found the bleeder and got it stopped. So it's just, even amongst all the chaos, just gotta listen to the whispers.
Well, and one of the things that I think impacted me so much about your story is a listening, right? I remember you said you were in this coma, but you could still hear the program on the television that was teaching you to use your mind, heal yourself. And I think one of the fascinating things that it has caused me to do is, when you wake up in the morning, or maybe you've gotten the luxury of having a little cat nap on the couch, but you wake up, but your eyes are still closed and you're not really up yet. In that time, it's a really good time to ask your body things and listen to them, and then take some just a few minutes of mental focus on going through the different parts of your body. You may not be a doctor. We don't have to be a physician to know everything about how the body works, but send some healing messages, like have a conversation with your body, listen to what it says back to you, and talk to it in a healing, soothing manner, because I believe in the power of that after hearing your story.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's just, I mean, gosh, it was maybe early teens or something like that. One of my dad's brothers was a chiropractor and kinesiologist, and he taught me about the flow of the body's energy and how, obviously different things being out of place, interfere with the flow of the energy. But he also talked about your negative thoughts can impact your body's flow and that. And later on, I discovered, and that's one of the other things that I also do is practice the emotion code, where identify and release trapped emotions. And they appear in the body as anywhere from maybe the size of a marble to the size of a grapefruit, a ball of
Mm,
energy that
yikes.
physically is blocking your flow of energy, which can cause physical ailments.
Yeah.
And it's just, I mean, it's unreal, to your imagination that, our thoughts and feelings can get trapped and cause physical ailments. It's just, but I
It
mean,
is.
it's all, we're all energy beings. And,
Mhm.
and that's one of the things that as I was, uh, you know, early on having the health challenges, I was becoming very aware of what was going on with my body and everything. And years later, um, one of my one of my doctors, he had forced retirement and that. So the doctor then I was seeing afterwards, I'm telling him what's going on, and he says, "Okay, Bruce, don't diagnose it. Just tell me what your symptoms are." So like, okay, fine. So I told him what my symptoms were. He pokes around and listens, and it's like, okay, I concur with your diagnosis. So after 2 visits, he says, "All right, Bruce, I admit it. You know your body a lot better than I do." And we had a great relationship for 20 years. It's just, but I mean, it's like you're saying. He says, listen to your body, talk to your body.
Mhm.
And I'm very visual, so I can kind of visualize what's going on too. And but it's also, I mean, just the mindset is huge
Mhm.
in that.
Yeah.
Um, I mean that was one of the things that what you kind of referenced to is this one educational program that I just before I went into a coma, I watched, and it was about the power of visualization and the power of the mind. And just one quick example is you know, one patient, the nurse saw the doctor go into the patient's room and a while later left, and they went into the patient's room, and the patient, she was in really good spirits and everything. Says, "Oh, doctor must have had some good news for you." Says, "Yep, told me my heart was as healthy as a horse." Well, the doctor told her she had gallop rhythm of the heart, which is serious, but she thought it was a good thing, meaning her heart was healthy. She got
Mhm.
better and was discharged. And conversely, there was a guy that was just in overnight for a minor procedure, and the doctor comes in and he's in a grumpy mood, looking at the chart, saying, "Oh, I see by the chart here you're not going to be with us much longer," meaning he was going home the next morning. Well, that guy thought he had something really serious. For no medical reason, he died that night.
Oh my god.
Power of the brain.
Wow.
So I mean,
So, if you want to work on your mind set, work on your wellness, work on your communication with those outside of you to have your live to your fullest potential, or also within yourself, have that communication improve and work with Bruce. What's the best way for them to find you or do that? Are you doing that in workshops or group settings or courses? Give us some. Um, how would we go about our next step to get this going and have some of this magic?
well, it says, yeah, I've got my main website is actualizeyourfullpotential.com. Um, and I've got a variety of different resources and that available there as well. And you can also do the talktobruce.com that takes you to the scheduling page and that,
Hmm.
so we can schedule a call and that. But yeah, I've got a, can do, coaching session. I'm putting together, different workshops every so often and that too. And that, so, yep, just happy to share and help people and stuff. It's just a matter of kind of changing some of our habits and daily activities and that. So I believe in, just making small changes that have a big impact.
Well, and he's so generous and so giving. We're going to twist his arm now and move into the next section and talk him into giving us an amazing tip today that will help you. He just gave us one. Make small little steps and you'll have a big impact. First step is, just take some time with them. Your time will be well spent. It'll be a huge value, and it's an opportunity to just get to know him. No pressure, no cost for those appointments, right,
No,
Bruce?
no,
Yeah, so just have a conversation with Bruce and see where it can go, because this isn't just about health. Your mindset will affect all the things in your life, your relationships, your business, your success, whatever goal you're trying to reach. this program and working with Bruce can help you get there. And the
Yep.
fact that he's certified in AI will help you get there in the fastest
Yeah.
and up to date in technology as it can be, right? And
Yeah. Yeah.
that's good to have. You know, you want to use that as a resource and a tool, but the tried and true anchor results, those are where you start.
Yep.
So give us a tip today that we can use.
Yeah. So I mean, it is. I mean, it's just everything. Is connected. We're all connected in that. So there's just
Mhm.
communications and that. So one of the things that I, talk on is how the love languages impact every area of your life, personal and business, and that. So
Mhm.
just making the connections. But like I mentioned earlier, says mindset is huge, and part of that is our what I refer to as ants, automatic negative thoughts. We
Mm.
have 60 to 80,000 thoughts every day. Most of those are the same thoughts we had yesterday, and most of those are negative. So we're bombarding ourself with all of this negative self-talk. So now that I've made you aware of this, you're going to start recognizing these negative thoughts like, I can't do that. Just, this is not something I know how to do, or I always fail at this. And as soon as you recognize that you're speaking those negative thoughts to yourself, say, stop, cancel that, and replace it with a positive, affirming statement like, that's something that I can learn how to adapt, or
Mhm.
that's something that I can figure out, or I've always wanted to do this, and this will be fun. This is, I mean, just turn it around to be the positive aspect, and that will gradually stomp out one of those ants, and you just
So
keep doing that.
you gotta turn your ants into pants. So
Yeah,
from the automatic negative thoughts to positive affirmation, nurturing thoughts. So
apps, yeah,
they
automatic positive thoughts, right?
that's right.
Yep.
I love that. So that's a great tip. And tell us about one of the things I love about our show, and you out there watching, start putting in the comments. We'd love to see the nonprofit causes and things that are close to your heart. We want to spread some awareness and take some time as we learn about great people, as we learn to help each other. Let's take a moment to spread that love just beyond us with some awareness. So, what's a cause that is close to your heart that you care about, Bruce?
Well, there's all of these wonderful wellness challenges that I've been dealing with is due to Crohn's disease.
Mm,
So the foundation that I like to talk about is the Crohn's Colitis Foundation, and that's for
mm,
finding different cures and treatments and resources for people dealing with that. And it's just ironically, one of the wellness companies I just recently got involved with, one of the top guys is the official spokesperson for that foundation. It's like, wow, what a
wow,
coincidence.
that's awesome.
He's overcome Crohn's himself. So it's like, yay.
Yeah, I don't think it's a coincidence. I think it's
Yeah.
just where you were supposed to be.
Hmm.
That was
Divine
just
guidance. Yep.
confirmation surprise.
Hmm.
So, speaking of surprises, how about a book that inspired your personal life or helped you grow your business? I know you have a long list of them to
So
share
there's
with
several of them in that, but just the AI whisperers code has really got what
us. Mm,
got me involved with the AI journey in that. But um, early on, there was one book called "The Whack on the Side of the Head." It
mm,
was an oversized book all about thinking outside of the box, and it
mm.
was just really a fun read if you can find it. In that, it's just really a fun read and encouraging you to think outside of the box. But one of the biggest ones that really got me to thinking is a book called "Embraced by the Light" by Betty Eadie,
Yeah, I
and
read.
it was she's describing her near death experience in the
Yeah.
hospital, and her going up to heaven and describing what she saw. And as I was reading that, it's like, yeah, that's right. It's like, how do I know that's right? And it's like, and then reflecting my dad telling me that I'd almost died twice on the operating table. Like, okay. so,
I
yeah.
remember reading that years and years and years and years and years ago, on an airplane ride, and I could not put it down. It
Oh
was
yeah.
like, I think nonstop. I read it from cover to cover on that trip, and I just sucked through the pages. So, whoever was sitting next to me that day got spared from my jabbing because normally I'm, a bit of an outgoing talker, but
Yeah.
my nose was in the book.
Yeah, I actually had the fortune of meeting her in person at a book signing and that.
Oh,
So
cool.
yeah, really neat lady.
Very cool.
But
Very
yeah.
cool. All right. I know another great author in the room. Talk to us about a few of your books, Bruce.
Well, this is just contributed to a chapter, on mindset, talking about the automatic negative
Mhm.
thoughts to make it a great day. Um,
Mhm.
the choice is yours. And I'm currently writing my own book. It's a self-help novel, and
Mm.
the working title right now is Mindset Reset: How to Actualize Your Full Potential. So that title will probably change, but it's turned into a fun little project here. And this is I was getting kind of, I don't know, kind of like writer's block in that I wanted to write it around my framework and dividing
Mhm.
it into the four sections, one for each of the main one, and then the last one, how to
Mhm.
combine everything. But it's like, I don't want it just to be a boring knowledge dump and that. And
Mhm.
one of the things, the AI Whisperers code in another book, they were written in story form. They're teaching in story
Mhm.
format. So
Love that.
obviously I'm using an AI assistant to help me
Mhm.
with my book. And I said, okay, are you familiar with this style of self-help novel? And he says, yeah. It says, okay, based on my outline, can we do that with mine? It's like, absolutely. So we've been brainstorming different plots and characters and everything. It's like, this is really fun.
Yeah. Yeah, it's amazing what we can do and how we can sprinkle our gifts into the world so much faster using brilliant tools. I mean, just think, for me, one of the I'll never forget coming across, there's 2 really powerful YouTube videos I came across, and YouTube's just another resource and tool that we have access to now that we never did, but now can leave a legacy for people because, I ran across, one of Napoleon Hill's black and white. I think they must have, like, recorded an old-timey film in black and white, and now it's made its way to live on YouTube, and just watching it, I was so inspired. And you have to think, I mean, this guy, he died, years before I was even born,
Yeah.
and here he is impacting me and my business and my direction and my goals and my thoughts. He's there, and that's just amazing. And that's what AI is going to give us in the form of being able to create songs that have a sprinkle of us in it and have the sprinkle of this great tool and books and programs and courses and just legacy to help someone long after we're gone. The other YouTube video I love is, gosh, I wish I'm stumbling on his name at the moment, but he wrote the book, 1 Minute Manager. Again, and what made me think of
Mm.
it is the storytelling fashion. That book has impacted so many lives. And he goes on it. This is a long form interview of him. It's like one of the longer videos you'll find on YouTube about this author. And he goes on to tell his story of how he wasn't a spiritual person, but after the success and the evolving of the success of this book turned him, towards a spiritual path. And then he wrote Lead Like Jesus. And so he did another leadership book, in a different format and storytelling capacity, but just really fascinating. And again, I think someone, and if he's still with us, I apologize, but I think he's someone who's no longer with us and still impacting the world.
Well, that's
So,
one of the things too. I mean, there's so many different classic books like, Think and Grow Rich and all
mhm.
those books that the knowledge and what they're teaching is timeless.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. So build a legacy. It has been so much fun to have you on the show today, Bruce. Have you had a good time?
absolutely.
We always love having you back and back again. And if you're out there thinking, well, wait, I haven't even got the first time out there, well, then come on. If you can improve someone's personal life, grow their business, inspire someone, impact someone, have written something, we would love to have you on our show. I am just have a place in my heart for authors, especially if you've written a book or created something beautiful for others to be inspired by and to create your legacy, then come reach out to our team. We'll get you on the show. Now, before we say goodbye, we would love for you, Bruce, to give us a final thought. Share with us a piece of information or inspiration as we go.
Well, just one of the things, just because of my personal journey, I mean, it's just be kind and patient with others because you don't know what they're going through and stuff. And it's
Exactly
one of
right.
those things that um, it's like my most recent hospital stay, getting poked every 4 hours for lab
Mm,
work and stuff, and just kind of joking around with the lab techs, and just having improving their day and that, and it, of course, when they'd come back for another one, they were in a better mood, and it's just,
mhm.
it's a simple smile and hi, it can really turn people around.
Yeah, it really can. Um, it's so funny. We are all connected, and we do all have such an impact for one another, and we're so in line and sync, Bruce. Because I'm going to close today's show as I always do. I'm your host, Jessica Koch. This has been another Profound Professionals, and as I always say, be kind to yourself out there and be kind to each other. Bye, everybody.